Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live channel episode. I'm basically coming on today to obviously bring some really sad news that has kind of broken within the last couple of hours here in the UK. War veteran Sir Captain Tom Moore, who raised all of that money for National Health Service charities during the first wave of the coronavirus pandemic. He raised over £35 million for National Health Service charities, has passed away. This is really, really sad news. And like I said, I wasn't going to come on today. I haven't been feeling particularly well myself today. I've had a bad stomach. So mostly I've been in bed all day myself. So when I kind of woke up this afternoon, this was not the kind of news that I wanted to hear. Captain Tom Moore was actually admitted to hospital a few weeks ago now for pneumonia, and he was sent home, which meant that unfortunately he couldn't have the coronavirus vaccine. Obviously he was eligible to have it, but because of having pneumonia, the doctors decided that he couldn't have the coronavirus vaccine. So he was sent home. He was battling pneumonia with his surrounded by carers and family and friends, and he caught the coronavirus during that time. He may have caught it from his little brief stay in hospital, or he could have just caught it from people perhaps coming in and out of the house. Who knows? But anyway, he couldn't have the vaccine. He was obviously battling two illnesses, and sadly today he did succumb to that. I want to go to the chat room. Obviously this is a live chat, so I'm just going to kind of read some comments. A lot of people saying, oh no, I'm so sorry. Laura says, rest in peace Sir Captain Tom Moore. Mason says, may God protect Sir Tom Moore. Hello to everyone who's just joining. Suzanne says, heartbreaking news. It is. Bethan says, rest in peace Captain Tom Moore. Yeah. And H.A. Bracken, yes, he did have a very good long life. He has a book out. He did lots of recordings during this last year. And by the way, what a monumental final year of life. I mean, nobody wanted him to obviously pass away, but in the last year of his life, he has achieved so much. I'm just going to go now and kind of backtrack a little bit. I'm going to go to Captain Tom Moore's Twitter account, obviously run by friends or family. So this was actually posted on January the 31st. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So this is what one of his daughters, Hannah, posted on January the 31st. I wanted to update everybody that today, Sunday the 31st of January, my father was admitted to hospital. Over the last few weeks, he was being treated for pneumonia, and last week tested positive for COVID-19. He was at home with us until today, when he needed additional help with his breathing. He's being treated in a ward, although he is not in ICU. The medical care he has received in the last few weeks has been remarkable, and we know that the wonderful staff at Bedford Hospital will do all they can to make him comfortable and hopefully return home as soon as possible. We understand that everyone will be wishing him well. We are of course focusing on my father and will update you when we are able to. Hannah, and then she gave a little kiss. So that was on January the 31st. And then today we had an updated photograph of Sir Captain Tom Moore with just simply 1920 to 2021. And this, if I can just turn the computer around, is the photo they posted with obviously his birth year and the year he passed away, which is really, really sad. Already I can see that tweet has had 77.4 thousand retweets as of now, and you know 382,000 people have liked it. I mean, obviously like is not the right way to describe it, but lots of people have kind of remarked on it, so to speak. They've acknowledged it, shall we say, using the Twitter functions. It is just incredibly sad. I also want to go now to the royal family's Twitter account, where the Queen the Queen has acknowledged it, and she has said via Twitter and probably other social medias too, Instagram, I know they have an account, the Queen is sending a private message of condolence to the family of Captain Sir Tom Moore. Her Majesty very much enjoyed meeting Captain Sir Tom and his family at Windsor last year. Her thoughts and those of the royal family are with them. And if I just share the photograph that they posted as well, that was obviously at the investiture ceremony where he was knighted. And who can forget those remarkable scenes where the Queen kind of came out of lockdown, out of isolation, to have this very special knighting ceremony taking place, investiture ceremony, where she knighted Sir Tom with her father's sword. It was very socially distanced, and it was obviously made purposely to get this honour to Sir Captain Tom Moore. So he was held in incredibly high regard by the Queen. And yeah, the family also released a statement today, which read, "It is with great sadness that we announce the death of our father, our dear father, Captain Sir Tom Moore." Just incredibly sad. £33 million, that's $45 million he raised. So obviously he kind of shot to the world attention when he decided that he was going to walk 100 lengths of his garden and raise a little bit of money for National Health Service. Of course, it caught the imagination of the nation, of the world, and he kind of became the kind of poster boy for kind of old wartime spirit. And of course, he kept giving lots of motivational quotes and speeches, obviously saying that we will beat it. He even said 2021 will be better. We will kind of overcome all of this. And like I say, he ended up raising £33 million, $45 million for National Health Service charities. He received thousands of cards for his 100th birthday, and he has been described as a true national treasure, and Boris Johnson described him as a beacon of light. I think he also broke a Guinness World Book of Records for his fundraising efforts. The Queen, as I said, officially conferred Tom's knighthood last July at Windsor Castle, and like I say, this was one of the Queen's very, very few public events since the pandemic started. So it just goes to show how much the royal family hold Sir Tom in regard. He really did so much for boosting the morale of the nation. At the time, Sir Tom Moore said, "I am absolutely overawed following the ceremony. This is such a high award, and to get it from Her Majesty as well. What more can anyone wish for? This has been an absolutely magnificent day for me." So according to Buckingham Palace spokesperson, as I said, the Queen is sending a private message of condolence to Tom Moore's family. They also said Her Majesty very much enjoyed meeting Captain Sir Tom Moore and his family at Windsor last year. Her thoughts and those of the royal family are with them, recognising the inspiration he provided for the whole nation and also others across the world. He really was absolutely remarkable, and I think I probably share the kind of same sentiments and the same idea. Sir Tom Moore perhaps should be recognised, maybe nationally, with a statue. We often talk about statues these days as being kind of contentious things, and I think one of the issues regarding statues is that perhaps we're not putting enough new statues up. There's kind of so much talk about lots of statues from the past and what they represent. What we should be doing is putting together more public support for statues of people, of achievements that we actually support today. And I don't think anybody can deny the fact that throughout this pandemic, Sir Captain Tom Moore was an absolute inspiration to everybody, and I think he does deserve a national statue to be commissioned, to be publicly funded, and of course to be erected and finally unveiled at some point in the future, at a time when we can all be together to celebrate such a statue. So I'm calling for, for people just to kind of, tweet Boris Johnson and tweet the government and tweet people that have influence and say that we want a statue, because I think that would be really, really good. Like I say, we need to celebrate people today. In fact, I think the answer is not less statues, it's more statues, but more statues of people that we can really appreciate and get on board with from today's world. Right, I'm going to read a few more comments. Lots of people coming in, giving their condolences to the family. Also, I will say, after this video has finished, do go to the comment section and feel free to leave a message of condolence to the family, because we never know who's watching or reading. It could be that a family member might see this video and may actually get a lot from reading your comments of support. So afterwards, go to the proper comments section and feel free to leave a comment of condolence. Marion says, so sorry for your nation's loss. I think also the world, the world has lost a really good person. Again, lots of people giving so much of their condolences. Book Princess says, all we want to give the world when we pass is our love and memories. He did it very well. He did indeed. And yes, he was a true hero. Sharona says, they're building a hospital and naming it after him. Again, a brilliant thing to have named after you. But I think also a focus. I think we do like statues in terms of being like a focal point, so to speak. I mean, after all the years of the Diana fountain being like to being a memorial, in the end, William and Harry eventually commissioned a statue, because I think that's kind of what people like, is like an image of the person. And I would love to see a statue of Tom Moore with his walking frame, doing the walk, doing one of his laps, I suppose. Mason says, very true, he will be in my prayers. And Maxine says, so wonderful that he was honoured while he could still enjoy it. Indeed. Laurie says, rest in peace to Captain Tom Moore, Britain's great hero. Prayers for his family. Indeed. And I'm sure he will have a really amazing send-off. However, in the UK, we are still in the grips of our third lockdown. There are coronavirus restrictions on funerals. I think you can only have up to 30 people, I think. It may even be less than that now. Obviously socially distanced, obviously wearing all the correct PPE, and you can't have like an indoor wake afterwards. So it's going to be very, very different. So I'm hoping perhaps they might, at least release some photographs, just something so that the nation can say thank you for what he has done. But of course it is a private family occasion, so we may not see anything. But I think the world would like, especially people in Britain, would like to give him a really good send-off, as much as we can do with all of the restrictions that we have in place right now. Mason says, only up to 10 people for funerals here in California. It keeps changing all the time, so I'm not entirely sure what it is in the UK. I think at one point it was up to 30. Laurie says, just seeing this news and joining here now. Yes, it's incredibly sad, and this is not news that I wanted to have to bring anybody. It's not something that's particularly nice to have to be telling you, but he lived to 100. He had 100 really amazing years. The last year of his life, he raised £35 million for National Health Service charities. He inspired a generation, and also a lot of young people throughout this pandemic know who Sir Captain Tom Moore is. He will be an inspiration. He will be a person, a figure that young children will grow up wanting to emulate, wanting to be like, aspiring to be to those kind of values of rallying around, putting yourself before others, caring, kindness, compassion. These are all traits that are going to be passed on to the next generation, which is incredibly amazing. Kada Gill says 20 for a funeral here in Scotland. And Sharona says 30 people. 30 people in the UK and 15 for a wedding. I thought it was 30. Like I say, it's completely different for all the different countries in the world, and they keep changing it as well. So you have to keep your watch on what the numbers are, basically. Sharona says, rest in peace, Captain Sir Tom Moore, You'll Never Walk Alone. Indeed. And he had, he had the amazing single as well. So he had a hit single with Michael Ball with You'll Never Walk Alone. It got to #1 and raised even more money for the National Health Service charities. And that's basically all we have at the moment. As soon as we know any more, if any more royal tributes come in. Oh, I haven't checked actually to see if the Prince of Wales has released a condolence online. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have retweeted the royal family's message, so they haven't posted one yet of their own, but I am sure one is on its way. Let me just check Prince Charles while we are here with Clarence House. Again, Clarence House has retweeted the royal family's message. I think, by the looks of it, what they're doing at the moment is letting the Queen's message be the main message of representation for the royal family. But I am sure that other royal tributes will follow, maybe even in the coming hours. But I think they probably want the Queen's official message of condolence to be seen and to be shared probably first. I think that definitely the Queen is very much leading in this scenario, but I'm sure there will be other tributes coming soon. So the next time I pop on, hopefully we'll be able to read some more of those. H. London says, such sad news. Tom was indeed a hero, and may God bless his soul indeed. Do we know where he'll be buried? No. That it's too soon. I mean, I'm sure the family will be making private preparations, but we literally do not know. And also because we've had kind of such high death rates here in the UK, I don't know how long the backlog is or the waiting list is for a funeral. We don't know if he's going to have a cremation. We don't know if he wanted a burial. So we're going to have to wait for the family to release details when they feel comfortable to do so. But I don't think there will be anything in place yet, unless of course you've prepaid your funeral. Lots of people can prepay and make arrangements in advance, but we don't know what his personal arrangements are. Lacey says, I'm deeply saddened by this. I think we all are. We've lost so much in the past year, and now we've lost a beacon of hope and a beacon of light. And it just goes to show how much we've sacrificed. But there will be, in the words of Captain Tom, we will come right. We will all meet again. Does he have children? Yes. One of the best known children is Hannah. Hannah has accompanied Sir Captain Tom Moore on many of his television appearances, so you might recognise Hannah. Oh yeah, and he's got lots of grandchildren as well. Roger says, a real hero, not some jumped up, overpaid sportsman reality star. I hear you. Duty done, and now he can stand down. Indeed. And I think over Bedford Hospital, I saw on the news the flags were flying at half-mast. So already I can see a little bit of a military nod coming through. So maybe we'll get some kind of, military funeral going on. Mason says, I am sad that we lost so much heroes and great models such as Kobe Bryant, and now we've lost Sir Tom Moore. Yeah, this past year, and probably going forward into this part of this year as well, it's going to be tough, it's going to be rough, but we will get through it. Sandy says, a hero to all the world, even though I'm an American. I think he inspired a generation around the world. Definitely. Right, as I said, I'm not feeling the best myself today. I've had a bad stomach. I wasn't going to come on today at all. So I'm going to go now and have a rest. It's not COVID, don't worry. I think I ate something yesterday. Matt's had the same. We think it was something that we ate. I woke up with a bad stomach, bad head. So I'm going to go now and get myself better. But I just wanted to obviously come on and pay tribute on behalf of myself and on behalf of all of the Royal Reviewer viewers and anybody who watches me across any of my channels. So I want to say my sincere condolences to the family and friends of Sir Captain Tom Moore on behalf of myself and everybody who watches any of my channels. As I said before, please feel free to leave a message of condolence in the messages in the comment section below. I couldn't think what it was then. In the comment section below, because you never know who might be reading it. Those messages may get through to his family and to his friends, who may get great comfort and support from it. So, all that's left for me to say is, from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, and goodbye, and stay safe, look after each other, and we will meet again.